Quitting your job isn't always the answer. It sometimes is, but if you don't know the unwritten rules of work, you are more than likely going to end up in the same situation over and over again. Because these unwritten rules are so baked into corporate culture that they are just assumed to be normal. While there are absolutely places that are more toxic than others, if you don't know how to navigate them, you're going to run into the same problem. The pattern I have experienced myself earlier in my career and see over and over again with my coaching clients is that there's an initial phase of love bombing, and especially if you've been abused at a place before, you just want anything to be better, anything at all, of course. And you miss the orange flags and the other dynamics and setting the boundaries that would help you be in a similar situation in a different way and in a way that's not as harmful. I just published this article on my LinkedIn this week. It's available for free. You can go to my page. It's linked in my bio. Read it, where I gave examples from 2 real clients who changed their names for anonymity. On one who had left a toxic workplace, hired me, worked with me. We worked on learning the unwritten rules of work, and then she went to a new one. And then what she did when she started to encounter these toxic dynamics, and compared that to another client I have who, when I wrote this article, I thought was at the same organization. She'd been there 4 years, abused constantly, given more work, promised a promotion that when it came, eventually came with no extra pay. And I ended the article with, and she's going to leave. She's already looking for more places to work. She is a high performer, so she does have options even in this environment. She's been having multiple interviews a week for a few months. So I wrote this, and then I contacted her. Hey, I just want to make sure you're okay with me sharing this anonymized. And she was like, hey, so I've been meaning to message you. I have a new job. Because I ended this article with, basically the workplace she's been at for 4 years has paid for her education that she's going to take elsewhere. And she's going to be like my other client now, who entered a new environment, was initially everything's going well. Then some things started to happen and she picked up on it early and nipped it in the bud. And I said, and next time when my other client shifts her job, she's going to be ready. It's going to cost her organization. I have an email from her and she was like, yep, I've already left. I'm working on setting those boundaries, and my boss was shocked, and I just have to be okay with it. He has to accept the consequences of his own actions, and that he now has to figure out how to run 2.5 major projects without me that he completely relied on me for, that were not in my job description, and that he never promoted me to run. As one of my group coaching clients said, it's really hard to watch the ship sink when you're on it, but sometimes that is the only way that people learn. Now, what you need to be careful of is when you get on another ship, making sure you don't become the unofficial captain to run everything, take the fall, and not actually have decision-making power, but have to deal with all of the work.